apocalypse have been broken. Shattered by war's betrayal. Will you answer our call, Rider of the Black Horse? To hunt down and destroy the enemies of existence itself. The 7 deadly sins have escaped and are ravaging the earth. They must be stopped.
Hello, brother.
Do you accept this undertaking? Though they are 7, and you but 1.
With pleasure. Hey you guys, DSDude464 here with another great video. Today we're going to be talking about Darksiders 3. For those of you who don't know what the Darksiders series is, it is a hack-and-slash adventure game filled with exploration, puzzles, and massive bosses. Each game follows one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The first game centers around War and his quest to prove that he did not start the apocalypse before the breaking of the 7 seals. The second game is about Death, as he also attempts to do everything he can to prove his brother's innocence and resurrect humanity. Which brings us to the third game, which follows their sister Fury, who is tasked with wiping out the 7 deadly sins that have been let loose upon the face of the earth. Now, what's crazy about that is the fact that originally it took all 4 of the horsemen working together to imprison the 7 deadly sins. So that obviously means this is a difficult and intense task for Fury. A quote from the website helps to make that point very clear, and it is as follows. Earth is now overrun by the 7 deadly sins and the mystical creatures and degenerated beings that serve them. The Charred Council calls upon Fury to battle from the heights of heaven down through the depths of hell in a quest to restore the balance and prove that she is the most powerful of the horsemen. The devs are also really interested in playing up each of the individual aspects of each sin. For example, in the gameplay for the IGN first of this game, which I can't put on my channel for obvious reasons, we are introduced to Sloth. His preference is to sit idle atop his throne, allowing his countless minions to defend him and even move him around inside his hollowed-out subway lair. Don't let the bed sores fool you. Sloth is a mighty force when prodded into battle. That is, of course, a quote from the website. In the gameplay, he is shown as a massively fat bug that has his minions carry him around on a throne, truly emulating the idea of Sloth. What else is really unique is how each sin affects the world around him. We've been told that the entire world is like a massive dungeon with other parts that you unlock as you progress in the main story. What's also amazing about this is the fact that the devs are boasting a game with no load screens, so you will have a smooth experience as you move from location to location. Now, each specific area that is governed by a sin will be changed depending on what sin is there. This changes the enemies and the environment itself, such as in the IGN gameplay Sloth, there are bugs hanging from the ceiling and egg sacs all over the walls, and all of the enemies are bugs that you have to fight, which is obviously what Sloth, the kind of creatures that he has following him. What's amazing about this is the fact that it creates amazing enemy variety. Each area is going to have completely different enemies that's really going to keep things interesting. You know, I don't know what else what the other enemies are going to look like, you know, because you have pride, you have wrath, envy, you know, all of those awesome sins. I can't wait to see what they do with them. It's going to be awesome. And a lot of in the other games, the players or the enemies got a little drab after a while. I don't want to say drab because it was still super fun to fight them, but it was the same enemies over and over again. Maybe halfway through the game at that point, you've encountered every enemy besides the bosses that you're going to encounter. And so some of the changes to the enemies and how they will appear also helps to keep the game feeling fresh. First of all, they are moving from the sort of closed-off combat rooms, which is the idea in the first two games where you enter a room and, you get the cutscene where the doors lock and a bunch of bad guys appear and you can't leave until you take out all of the waves of enemies. I'm sure that there's still probably going to be a few of those in this game, but definitely not as many. They've stated that they want the enemy encounters to feel more natural. So instead of, just the enemies ambushing you, you're walking into the enemy's lair. So they're just going to be doing whatever they're doing. You might find someone sleeping and you wake him up and he starts attacking you. Things like that. So in addition to this, they've also changed the enemy encounters to quality over quantity. So you'll be facing fewer enemies who are stronger than the enemies you might have faced in the first two games. Now, those of you that are familiar with the Bible and the lore of the Four Horsemen, you might be a bit confused by the fact that Fury isn't actually one of the names of the Four Horsemen. In the Bible, the Four Horsemen are war, famine, pestilence, and death. The developers have decided that Fury and Strife, who is the fourth horseman we've yet to encounter, are much more entertaining to play as in these games. And the description on the website also makes Fury sound a lot more interesting than Famine or Pestilence as well, and that is as follows. The most unpredictable and enigmatic of the Four Horsemen, Fury is a mage who must rely upon her whip and magic to restore the balance between good and evil. Unleash her various forms to access new weapons, moves, and traversal abilities. So far, Death is my favorite of the two in the first games, but Fury is really shaping up to possibly being my favorite. I love the idea that she has different forms you can access to change up the way she plays, and I can't wait to see what that's going to look like and what that plays like. I also love the magic in the second game in Darksiders 2 that you have, and so I'm really excited that Fury herself is going to be a mage, and I can't wait to see what powers she has. So, guys, that about wraps up what we know about this game so far, and this series is legitimately one of my all-time favorite series. And I cannot wait for this one to come out. If you've never played this game or seen it played before, first of all, what are you doing with your life? Go pick it up, play it right now. I'm sure you can find it at GameStop used for like $10. Go pick it up. You will not regret it. It's an amazing game. If you like puzzles, if you like exploration, if you like some RPG elements, you'd love this game. It's essentially, I always say, it's a more violent version of The Legend of Zelda. So if you enjoy those games, definitely come check these ones out. I'm also going to be uploading my playthrough of the first two games. Currently, I'm replaying through the first game, and after that, I'll be jumping straight into the second game as well. I'm doing this on Twitch, and afterwards uploading them to YouTube. If you want to watch me live, I've linked my Twitch description or my Twitch channel in the description below. You can also check out the videos. And, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on all of the updates for Darksiders 3 and more. Thank you so much, you guys.